What if I told you that for 8 out of 10 people, a stroke is not some random lottery of fate, but a preventable event? Sounds almost too good to be true, doesn't it? I mean, the medical system, it's fantastic at treating a stroke after it devastates your brain, but the most powerful prevention secrets? They aren't in a high-tech hospital. No, they are hidden in your daily routine. Stay with me, because today I'm revealing the simple, evidence-based blueprint to help you sidestep one of the world's most feared killers. This is the information that could save your brain. Welcome. Let's start with a very important disclaimer. The title of this video, How to Never Have a Stroke, is, well, it's a bold promise. In medicine, there are no 100% guarantees. Genetics, age, and other factors we can't control will always play a role. But, and this is one of the most empowering buts in all of healthcare, the CDC, the American Heart Association, the World Stroke Organization, they all agree on one incredible fact. Up to 80% of all strokes can be prevented. That is a revolutionary number. It means the power to protect your brain it's overwhelmingly in your hands. This isn't about luck. It's about knowledge and action. Today, we're not talking about magic. We're talking about a scientifically proven battle plan. We are going to architect a fortress around your brain, and we're going to start with your number one enemy. This brings us to point one, the silent killer. You must know your numbers. If a stroke has a single arch nemesis, a primary villain, it is high blood pressure, hypertension. It is without a doubt the single biggest controllable risk factor for stroke. So why is it so dangerous? Okay, I want you to imagine your arteries, the delicate pipes that carry life-giving blood to your brain. Imagine they're like a small garden hose. Now, imagine hooking that garden hose up to a high-pressure fire hydrant and turning it on. Full blast, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. What's going to happen to the inside of that hose? It's going to get damaged, right? Scarred, weakened. It'll develop weak spots that can burst. That is exactly what high blood pressure does to your arteries. This constant, relentless pressure, it damages the fragile inner lining of the blood vessels in your brain. This damage can lead to two catastrophic outcomes. First, a weakened artery can simply rupture and bleed into the brain. That's a hemorrhagic stroke. Second, and this is more common, the damaged rough surfaces of the artery are a perfect place for clots to form or for cholesterol plaque to build up and eventually block the vessel. That's an ischemic stroke. But here is the most terrifying part about high blood pressure, and this is the pattern interrupt you need to hear. For most people, it has zero symptoms. You can walk around with a dangerously high blood pressure of 160/100 and feel completely fine. You can feel energetic, healthy, on top of the world, all while this relentless pressure is silently just savaging your arteries. That's why they call it the silent killer. You cannot manage what you do not measure. This is non-negotiable. You need to know your blood pressure numbers. Get a home monitor. Use the free machine at the pharmacy. Ask your doctor at every single visit. A normal blood pressure is below 120/80. Anything above that, it requires a conversation with your doctor. Taming this silent killer is the first and most critical step in your stroke prevention plan. But there's another silent threat, one that can multiply your stroke risk by a staggering 500%. And this brings us to point two, the ticking time bomb, understanding atrial fibrillation, AFib. So a lot of people have heard the term AFib, but they don't truly understand why it's so dangerous. Let's demystify it. Your heart has 4 chambers. Normally, they all beat in a strong, synchronized rhythm, lub-dub. Lub-dub. In atrial fibrillation, the 2 upper chambers of the heart, the atria, they stop beating properly. Instead, they just quiver or fibrillate like a bag of worms. Now, what happens when a part of the pump just quivers instead of pumping strongly? Well, the blood doesn't get pushed out efficiently. It can pool and stagnate in this little pouch in the atrium. And what happens to stagnant blood? It clots. Think of it like a little backwater eddy in a river where leaves and debris just just collect and clump together. Your heart starts forming these tiny clots, these little tumbleweeds of blood. And for a while, they might just stay there. But then one day, the heart gives a particularly strong beat, and boom, one of these clots gets ejected into the main circulation. It travels up the carotid artery, heads straight for the brain, and lodges in a smaller vessel, blocking all blood flow. The result? A massive stroke. AFib is responsible for about 1 in every 5 strokes, and they are often more severe, more disabling than other types of stroke. And, just like high blood pressure, you might not even know you have it. Some people feel a fluttering or a racing heart, but many, many people have silent AFib with no symptoms at all. So how do you find it? Your doctor can detect it with a simple physical exam, an EKG. Some of the newer smartwatches can even screen for it. If you are diagnosed with AFib, your doctor can prescribe medication, usually a blood thinner, that dramatically reduces the risk of clots forming. And this isn't just a small risk reduction. The American Heart Association says it can lower your stroke risk by up to 60 to 80%. It literally defuses the time bomb. Okay, so we've covered some incredibly serious, life-saving information. We've unmasked the biggest silent threats to your brain. I truly hope you're starting to see how much power you have in this fight. If this evidence-based information is valuable to you, if it's giving you the clarity and motivation you need to protect your health, please take just 1 second to support the channel and hit that like button. It's a tiny click that makes a huge difference in helping this message reach more people who need to hear it. And if you want to continue this journey, make sure you subscribe and ring that notification bell. Your support allows us to keep making more videos just like this one. Thank you. Now that we've identified the enemies, let's talk about building your defenses. This is point 3, architecting your arteries, the anti-stroke food blueprint. What you eat has a direct, powerful impact on the 2 biggest stroke risk factors, high blood pressure and clogged arteries. And this isn't about some crazy, restrictive diet. It's about a few simple, powerful principles. First, let's talk about sodium. We as a nation consume a shocking amount of it, and most of it doesn't come from the salt shaker on your table. No, it comes hidden in processed foods, canned soups, frozen dinners, deli meats, fast food. Excess sodium makes your body retain water, which increases the volume of blood in your bloodstream. More volume in the same pipes, well, it equals higher pressure. It's simple physics. Cutting back on processed foods, cooking more at home, that's one of the fastest ways to lower your blood pressure. Second, fats. We have to be smart about fats. Unhealthy saturated and trans fats, the kind in fried foods, baked goods, fatty cuts of meat, they are the primary building blocks of the cholesterol plaque that can clog your arteries. Think of it this way. You wouldn't pour bacon grease down your kitchen drain, right? Because you know it will harden and clog the pipe. So why would you put it in the delicate pipes of your body? Instead, focus on healthy, unsaturated fats, the kinds in avocados, nuts, seeds, olive oil. These fats actually help reduce bad cholesterol and keep your arteries clean. A diet like the DASH or Mediterranean diet, rich in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and lean protein, is a proven blueprint for lowering blood pressure and protecting your heart and brain. Look, this isn't about being perfect. It's about shifting the balance. It's about making the conscious choice, meal by meal, to build healthier arteries, which leads directly to point 4, the ultimate silent stroke, the one you never see coming. We've talked about the big, catastrophic strokes, but there's a much more insidious type of stroke, one that millions of people experience without even knowing it. They're called silent strokes or lacunar infarcts. These are tiny strokes that occur in the deep, small vessels of the brain. They don't cause the classic symptoms like a drooping face or arm weakness. The symptoms might be so subtle, you just dismiss them. A fleeting moment of confusion, a little clumsiness, a minor memory problem. Each one of these tiny strokes is like a tiny pellet from a shotgun destroying a small area of brain tissue. One pellet might not bring you down, but over years, the damage is cumulative. It adds up. And this is now understood to be a leading cause of what's called vascular dementia, a type of cognitive decline that looks a lot like Alzheimer's, but it's caused by poor blood flow. You might notice your thinking gets slower, your memory gets foggier, your balance gets worse. It's the slow, silent erosion of your brain. And the scary part? The risk factors for these silent strokes are the exact same ones we've been talking about: high blood pressure, high cholesterol, smoking, and diabetes. This adds a whole new layer of urgency to our prevention plan. You're not just preventing a single devastating event, you are actively preserving your mind, your memory, and your personality for the long haul. So let's bring it all home. We've established that stroke is not a random act of fate. It is a preventable disease in up to 80% of cases.